Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon because right now, with the discounts you can get on Gladiators, this thing is looking like a pretty insane deal. We'll get into that in today's video. Before we get into the video though, as always, a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Spanish Fork, Utah, for me some time with this Gladiator. This Gladiator is still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So a few cool things about the front end of the Gladiator Rubicon. First off, you got the vents there on the hood, of course Rubicon there on the side. And this one happens to have the baseline lights. You can upgrade to LEDs. And you got the red tow hooks here with fog lights on the bumper. And then when it comes to ground clearance, this has 11.1 inches of ground clearance, which makes it very capable off-road. Now around the side here, we've got these 33-inch tall tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. They are all-terrain tires, so they're obviously going to be great for off-road use. And since this is a Jeep, we have a solid front axle. Now, just like the Wrangler, we've got big chunky fender flares. We have rock rail protection here on the side. And then you guys can see we've got a hard top there, unpainted with this one. And then here's your full side view with the Gladiator with the 33s. I mean, this has an aggressive stance. And now here's a quick look at the key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function, the little flip out key, which there you go. Now it'll pop all the way out. And then of course the Jeep logo there on the back. And this right here is what makes the Gladiator so cool. It obviously has all the off-road capability, but it's also a mid-size pickup truck, so it has a truck bed. You can see we've got bed lights here as well. This one doesn't have bed liner, but that's something you can easily add in after the fact. And then the tailgate with the Gladiator is super light. And then you guys can see here with the Jeep badge here, we've got the red recovery hooks here on the back end. And then look at the taillights right here. And then yes, we do have, well, got to duck down a little bit, spare tire and a solid rear axle. So putting it all together, Jeep has taken the iconic styling from the Wrangler and they've put it in a truck configuration, which I think is so cool. Now inside, this particular Gladiator has the cloth interior, so we've got the red stitching here because of the Rubicon package, and you do actually have some nice padding in the door panel as well. But you guys can see here, got some vents, got some window controls, and we got this grab handle which will help out with getting in. You can see plenty of space. Headroom also, it's a block of cheese, of course it has a lot of headroom. And yes, we do have a window that opens here in the rear. It is manual, obviously. And then popping to the front, you can see the theme with the red continues here. And for those of you wondering, this has 1,174 pounds of payload capacity, which is solid for a mid-size pickup truck. And then we've got our light controls here. So you have your fog lights and your cargo lights built in right there. And then the pedals look pretty normal, but look at the mat here. Obviously that's gonna be great for off-roading, clean up all that kind of stuff. And then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. And startup with this is always fun. Ooh, fancy. So here is the steering wheel. You guys can see really nice trim all around. You got the red stitching down the center. Radio controls in the back. We do have cruise control controls for the center stack. And speaking of center stack, look at this gauge cluster. It mixes analog and digital elements quite well. I mean, look, for example, we can see the off-road status here. I think that's pretty snazzy overall. And then when it comes to the camera system, we do have a backup camera. Resolution with it, I say, is pretty dang solid. And then with the infotainment system, it is sealed, so you know, if you get water, dirt, debris, all that kind of stuff, it's not going to ruin the screen. Dual zone climate with this, and you can see response time with the screen's really good. Of course, you have the red on the dash. Some of you might love it, some of you might not. And then your climate controls down below with your radio controls. We do have off-road cruise control, a bunch of window controls here. You can see a little USB action there. And then we do have front and rear locking differentials as well as a sway bar disconnect because this is a Rubicon. You also have your off-road plus, and then we have our four-wheel drive shifter right here with our shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission as well. And then you guys can see the parking brake right here. Cup holder action where you can put your key right there. And then look at the center console. Normal Jeep fashion. And then we got the regular Jeep glove box as well. Nice grab handle here, and then look at the red. Where do we... Anyways, up top we do have the hard top. This is really easy to take off the back. You do need to use tools for it. So here's a one sticker for this Gladiator. $50,995 is the base MSRP, and then you guys can see total MSRP here, $58,310. Now check out Doug Smith's website in the description down below for the exact pricing. But from what I saw this morning, it looked like there's like a roughly $10,000 discount on this. So instead of paying $58,000, it's now $48,000, and that puts this truck in a completely different universe at that price point, because that makes it the same price as like a new Colorado Z71, but then this is more similar to like the ZR2 when it comes to off-road capability. So with that being said, let's drive it and just cap things off. Now, before we move on to the next feature, we need to talk about today's video sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Now, believe it or not, the modern world is actually a pretty treacherous place. Every single time you go out for a drive, there's a chance that you could get into an accident. You could be walking in front of a business, they could have something on the ground, and you could slip and fall and hurt yourself. And on top of that, you could just be doing your job, right? Like you always do, and something could happen and you could sustain a major injury. This is a topic that's very important to me personally, because I drive about 40,000 miles per year for the channel, and so there are a lot of situations that I'm put in on a day-to-day basis where accidents almost happen. Now, knock on wood, nothing's happened for years, but there's always the chance that something could happen. And this is where Morgan & Morgan comes into play. They are America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices, over 800 lawyers, and over 4,000 case staff that are all ready to help you out. And one of the best parts about working with Morgan & Morgan is that things like the negotiations, the court hearings, and the research associated with putting together a case are all free unless you win. And so if you're involved in some kind of personal accident, whether it be a car accident, a slip and fall accident, or an accident at the workplace, then you might want to get help from Morgan & Morgan. And on a little bit of a side note, don't feel bad about hiring an attorney. Remember that you're suing the insurance company that is worth billions upon billions of dollars. They can more than pay for the compensation that you deserve. So if you are injured in an accident, then you can check out Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/Ben Hardy, or you can give them a call at #529, that is pound law. Again, www.forthepeople.com/Ben Hardy or pound law. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear, and well, Gladiator away. Now, obviously I've already done a review on the Rubicon, but you know, after seeing some of the steep discounts on these Gladiators, I decided that it'd be cool to make like an update video. And also, I haven't reviewed one of these since I reviewed the new Colorado and the new Canyon, and obviously we have the specs in the Tacoma as well as the new Ranger as well. And so I want to talk about the Gladiator now that we have all these other new mid-size pickup trucks on the market, because I mean, this is such a strange vehicle in this particular market. But anyways, first off, the seats, just like the Wrangler, I'm not going to say that they're uncomfortable. I own a Wrangler. I actually really like these seats, but I can tell you that they are on the firmer side, and on top of being on... So I can tell you that these seats are on the firmer side of things, and on top of being on the firmer side of things, you have to like sit upright in these. So I think these seats are great if you have good posture. If you don't have good posture, these seats are going to be kind of uncomfortable. So that's the best way to put that. But aside from seats, ride quality is actually really good with the Gladiator. Again, despite the fact that it has solid axles, it has such big tires, 33-inch tall tires, that on smooth roads like this, it actually is just, it's a very comfortable experience. You do have quite a bit that happens when you go over bumps and everything, but I mean, it's a truck at the end of the day, so like, it's kind of expected. Most trucks will do that. Now this V6, it's, you know, it's not insane when it comes to acceleration, obviously, but with the 8-speed automatic, I think it does a pretty good job accelerating. Again, it's not the quickest, but it moves the Gladiator, okay? It gets it up and goes. This is the way that I will put it. And then, you know, on top of that, just like the overall feel of this, even though you can take half of this apart, you know, it's not as bad as you'd think when it comes to the noise insulation. I will say on the freeway, it's, yeah, definitely a louder vehicle, but you know, getting the top insulation helps out with that quite substantially. You know, there's some things that you can do to basically mitigate, you know, a lot of the noise that you get with the Gladiator, because it is ultimately a block of cheese at the end of the day. So continuing along here in the Gladiator, Yeah, at high elevation, this V6, again, it's not slow, but yeah, it would be cool if Jeep did a more powerful engine, and I will talk about that towards the end of this video. But yeah, at slightly higher speed, you can definitely hear the wind noise more. So now I want to talk about other mid-size pickup trucks. Now that I've reviewed, you know, some of the new mid-size pickup trucks and kind of what I've discovered. So first off, although this engine is not the quickest when it comes to acceleration, reliability with the Pentastar V6 is strong. And you can't say the same about a lot of the pickup truck engines that are coming out. I mean, so Tacoma, turbocharged. Canyon, turbocharged. Colorado, turbocharged, because it's the same thing as the Canyon. And then the new Ranger, I mean, Ranger's been turbocharged for a while, but yeah, still gonna be turbocharged. This is a good old-fashioned, naturally aspirated V6. Can't go wrong with that. So you've got that part of it that I think can be really appealing. The next part is actually gonna come down to build quality. Now, I cannot comment on build quality with the new Tacoma or the new Ranger. I think the Tacoma, because it's a Toyota, is probably gonna have pretty good build quality. The Ranger is a Ford, so we'll see, but the previous generation Ranger actually wasn't all that bad. Now, I have had quite extensive time with the new Colorado and Canyon, and I can tell you the build quality in those trucks, not great. It is, like the Canyon especially, really nice looking interior, like it feels very upscale. Like this feels like utilitarian, the Canyon feels luxury, but like Jeep actually, like when it comes to build quality, it's actually really good with modern Jeeps, like the fit and finish with stuff. And I've had a Wrangler for over a year at this point, and I've been like really pleasantly surprised with how well everything's held up over the year of ownership so far. So we'll see if that continues moving to the future. But the point that I'm trying to make is this vehicle feels like a freaking tank, right? And you know, the Colorado and the Canyon definitely do not. The Tacoma we'll see, again the Ranger we'll see, but I think that the Gladiator has this like special unique feel that the other mid-size pickup trucks don't have, and this has a solid front axle, so it's gonna be way better off-road because of articulation. And so I think that with the discounts and with the pricing of the other trucks on the market, I would consider looking at the Gladiator now. Again, a year ago, I wouldn't say this because with the MSRP increases and with the fact that there weren't really discounts, it didn't really make sense. But like the fact that you can get like $10,000 off a lot of these Gladiators, and that puts like this Rubicon in the same price point, same price bracket as, you know, a lot of the entry-level or mid-level packages with some of these new mid-size pickup trucks. That's a big value proposition, I think. Again, at $60,000 almost, like it's like, well, cloth interior, this and that, but at like $48,000, $50,000, it's like, well, seems a lot more appealing. So let me know what you guys think about the Gladiator. Let me know if you would now consider Gladiator with the discounts that are out there, because again, you're not going to get a discount on a Colorado or a Tacoma or a Ranger. I know that for a fact because I review those trucks and they're so hard to get a hold of any of them. Obviously, again, like I said, I haven't reviewed the Tacoma or the Ranger yet, but I can tell you the Toyota dealership and the Ford dealerships, they have tons of people on these waiting lists, and so they have no reason to discount the product. So like, just let me know what you guys think.